May 8, 1942, in the Coral Sea, in the Pacific, a fierce battle is raging. Aboard the burning USS Lexington, one man faces the Inferno to save 3 of his comrades. His name was Elvin Bell. The USS Lexington was one of America's aircraft carriers and was commissioned in 1928. At the time of the infamous Pearl Harbor attack on December 7, 1941, the Lexington was already out at sea, away from the devastation. In early 1942, she was in the Pacific and took part in Battle of the Coral Sea. The clash in the Coral Sea was the result of Japan's Operation Amo, a plan to seize Port Moresby in New Guinea and gain control of the sea lanes close to Australia, threatening Allied communications and supply lines. On May 7, 1942, the Japanese and American fleets began to maneuver into position. American carriers, including Lexington and Yorktown, launched strikes that sank the Japanese light carrier Shoho. Meanwhile, the Japanese believed they had sunk a major American carrier, but had actually struck only a tanker and an escorting destroyer. The next day, May 8th, the Japanese and American fleets clashed in the Coral Sea. Both sides launched air strikes at the enemy. The Japanese aircraft spotted the American carriers around 11:05, and 69 Japanese aircraft targeted the Lexington, her sister ship Yorktown, and their escorts. At 11:20, Lexington was hit port side by a torpedo. A second torpedo followed a few seconds later, also on the port side. In addition, 3 bombs hit the ship, and the Lexington was further mutilated from bombs exploding nearby, which damaged the hull and flooded 2 compartments. Although the fire appeared to be under control, at 12:47 another explosion rocked the ship. Gasoline vapors had ignited and started a new fire, which was difficult to extinguish due to the smoke. There was no special fire-resistant clothing, and, in addition, the correct nozzles were missing too. New explosions followed every 15 to 20 minutes. 2 major explosions occurred at 13:19 and 14:45. Although the crew desperately tried to control the fire, they were unsuccessful. Every new explosion caused old fires to flare up again or started new fires. The fire eventually forced the evacuation of all compartments below the waterline at 1600 hours, and Lexington eventually drifted to a halt. Evacuation of the wounded began shortly afterward, and the captain ordered "abandon ship" at 17:07. A series of large explosions began around 1800 hours that blew the aft elevator apart and threw aircraft into the air. Among the crew was Elvin Bell, just 20 years old, an orphan from Jamaica, Queens, New York. Working as a mess attendant, Bell wasn't supposed to be on the front lines of battle, but when the call came, he stepped up to save his crewmates. An eyewitness account of the rescue was made by Stanley Johnston, a war correspondent aboard the Lexington, and he wrote, "It was Commander Mort Seligman's task to direct the rescue. I heard him call on the men around him. There are 3 men in frame, so and so. That's below the fire. To reach them, one of you must go around the fire and through passage X." A young colored mess attendant stepped forward. I cannot see his face, for he was wearing a smoke helmet. He saluted and quietly said, "I'll go, sir." "Sure you know how to reach them?" the commander asked. "Yes, sir. I know the way." "Do you realize that you might never make it, might never come back?" "Yes, sir, I do. But I would like to try just the same." "Right then. On your way, and good luck to you. We'll be waiting for you." Bell went into the ship, through long passageways and down several flights of steel steps, deep into the vast hull. The rest could only wait, and then, out of the smoke, Bell returned, leading the 3 rescued men to safety, barely standing from exhaustion. The Battle of the Coral Sea was over, and aircraft from Lexington and Yorktown had badly damaged the Japanese carrier Shokaku, but the Japanese aircraft crippled Lexington. As the carrier slipped beneath the waves, 216 crew members went down with her, and 2,735 crew members were rescued. Meanwhile, Elvin Bell's actions that day did not go unnoticed. For risking his life without hesitation, Bell received the Navy and Marine Corps Medal, the award for non-combat heroism, on February 3, 1943, and Bell's heroism even made national news as well as a cartoon to inform other Americans about his actions. After the battle, Elvin Bell stepped back into the shrouds of history. Elvin Bell's story is just one among the many lesser-known acts of valor by Black Americans during World War II. Their contributions helped win the war and changed the perception of the white Americans who served alongside them. If you want more World War II stories and the hidden histories of brave people like Elvin Bell, hit subscribe, share your thoughts, and let us know in the comments which stories you like next.